Hi folks, it's good to be with you. Love to everybody and love to everybody out there. Good to be with you. I'm just making a video on biblical textual variants and the doctrine of preservation of the Bible. Now I've taken one or two videos down. I've put them on private. The political videos concerning Hyde Park and Tommy Robinson and the Muslims, and I put some of them on private because for me, I'm an apologist. I'm a preacher of the gospel and I'm an apologist, and for me the main thing is getting into the intellectual defense of the Christian faith. I don't want to get too close to politics. That's other people's role, that's other people's job. I want to win people from the Muslim side, from Tommy Robinson's side. So I'll defend the Christian faith, and that's where I'm coming from. So I don't want to get too wrapped up in the political issues of the time. I've made my statement on a video called Hyde Park and the Battle for Free Speech, etc. So those are my thoughts. If you're wondering why I've taken some videos down, it's because I'm a preacher of the word and I'm an apologist. I'll defend the faith. I'm not a politician. That's not my calling. I'll leave that to others to do that. Anyhow, I want to just talk about the textual criticism of the Bible and textual variants. I want to talk about a guy called Dean Bergen. In the 19th century there was a guy called Dean Bergen, and he was a vast scholar in defending the majority text, the text behind the King James. And he showed categorically that, for example, the last ending of Mark is in the Bible. But his scholarship was rejected by Westcott and Hort, and much of modern scholarship today follows the bishops of Westcott and Hort in the 19th century. So all I want to do in this video is bring your attention to the scholarship of Dean Bergen, and I want you to go and research this guy and research some of his material, and then ask yourself, why is it that modern scholarship rejected Dean Bergen? And it was not based on evidence. Dean Bergen won the argument in the 19th century for the last ending of Mark, for example. He won the argument hands down, but modern scholarship has ignored him and said, no, the last ending of Mark is not in the Bible. So I'm going to put a PDF paper of Dean Bergen, and on that is a defense of the last ending of Mark. And it's quite scholarly, it's quite in depth, and I'll put some information under there about Dean Bergen. But if you want to understand why these modern Bible translations are not as good as the King James, you need to read about what happened in the 19th century, why modern scholarship went and followed Westcott and Hort rather than what Dean Bergen said. Dean Bergen was the one who defended the King James and the majority text, and Westcott and Hort was saying, no, we need to make a revised version based on the older manuscripts of Sinaiticus and Vaticanus. Dean Bergen did a wider scholarship looking at the early church fathers and was able to clearly show, for example, that the last ending of Mark is in Mark. And actually, if you look at the Sinaiticus and Vaticanus, there's indication, there's gaps where the last ending of Mark should go, which shows you that actually the last ending of Mark was known by these manuscripts, and they were aware that the manuscript with the last ending of Mark was around. So anyhow, the point what I want to tell you is basically there were two schools of thought in the time of the 19th century about textual criticism of the Bible. The Dean Bergen school, which said we need to follow the majority text, the text behind the King James, and then there was the Westcott and Hort. And modern scholarship went with Westcott and Hort, and these guys were not as sound. They were not good bishops as they should be. One of them wrote letters about spiritualism, etc. And modern scholarship has followed these bishops, okay? And Dean Bergen was defending the right view. So I'm going to put the information under here. You research it, you look into it, and you'll see why the King James and any Bible translation that comes from that tradition is a better translation than and a better text than the modern Bible translations. It's important because there's a lot of loose thinking about the inspiration and authority of Bible. God has preserved His Word, not just the message, not just the ideas, but he's preserved his word, and Dean Bergen gives a brilliant defense of that, and you'll do well to research it and look into it. God bless you.